Hello everyone and welcome out to Pros Play, the series where we spectate some of the best players in League of Legends and see what it is they do that puts them at the top. Today we're going to be seeing Unicorn of Love's top laner Vizicsacsi on Poppy, one of his favorite champions. Now Poppy is incredibly underplayed and underappreciated, with a just 1.29% popularity rate, coming in just under a 50% win rate as well. She's the 5th least played champion in the league. If you guys want to play Poppy just like Vizicsacsi, follow these runes and masteries to get started. Take physical damage marks, health per level seals, magic resistance glyphs, and attack speed quintessences. Your masteries are going to be 21, 9, and 0, and to see exactly where to put your points, you can follow a link below. As you can tell, Vizicsacsi has started off with a crystalline flask and 3 health potions, but with the gold from First Blood, he was able to buy 2 additional potions, 1 health, and 1 mana. This is going to help out a lot with his early sustain issues. As we can see here, Poppy struggles up against ranged opponents, which is what makes this sustain so necessary. Although Crystalline Flask doesn't provide any combat stats, it's going to give the health and mana necessary to stick around, farm up a little, and maybe perform some trades. Once Poppy gets her Q, she has some amazing bursts, but can also chew through her mana bar very quickly. Now that Vizicsacsi has reached level 3, he can take a point in his W, Paragon of Demacia. This is going to give him some armor and attack damage to really allow him to access his full kit and potential. Here he tries to use his E to dodge away from Morgana's binding, but it comes too quickly, and he takes a negative trade. He's going to try and farm passively, but he's not afraid to take a trade or put out some bursts if he sees the opportunity. Up against a long-ranged and high-sustained opponent like Morgana, though, it can be very difficult. One interesting thing to note is that Vizicsacsi has used 2 health potions and only 1 charge of his Crystalline Flask. Generally, it's more gold efficient to use your flask charges first so that you don't waste any potions, but in this case, he highly values the mana that he gets back from that flask. Staying on full mana as Poppy allows you to output a few burst combos to take down your opponent if you see the opportunity. Note here how Morgana wards the river as the lane begins to push up. This helps her remain very safe from any ganks from Lee Sin, but Vizicsacsi can hold on to his own wards since there's not much risk of a Gragas ganking him in this position. Under the turret is one of Poppy's least favorite places to be. Your opponent can harass you rather freely, you have little chance to maneuver for an outplay, and you have very little wave clear to ever push it back. Right here, Morgana can get a lot of free harass, while Vizicsacsi just tries desperately to get some last hits. Try your best to stay in the middle of the lane, but it can be very difficult against a champion with any sort of AoE wave clear, like Morgana with her Tormented Soil. As Poppy, don't be too afraid to fall to low health and continue fighting. Here, Morgana does quite a deal of damage to Vizicsacsi, however he still turns around and goes for the E and Q combo. This is because of Poppy's passive Valiant Fighter. Any damage that exceeds 10% of her current health is reduced by 50%. Some easy math to see what impact this makes is that if Poppy is at 100 health, and an ability hits her that does 100 damage, it'll actually only deal 55 damage, because the 90 damage that exceeds that 10 is reduced to 45. This makes Poppy incredible at fighting at low health, and can really help her get out of some crazy situations. Don't be afraid to teleport back to lane and continue farming, since Poppy is nothing without items. Vizicsacsi is going to go for the most common build, a Trinity Force first, picking up the Sheen because of its excellent synergy with the Q Devastating Blow, a spammable ability that scales with AP. Here, Motorola is going to have to flash away and use ult to keep Vizicsacsi from killing him because of the excellent burst from the Q Sheen combo. Vizicsacsi knows that he can survive well in low health and sees an opportunity to pick up an unsuspecting Morgana with an EQ combo. Although the turret does massive damage, he's able to escape with under 100 health. Now that Vizicsacsi is officially ahead of his opponent, having more CS and kills, he's able to pick up a pink ward to completely shut out Morgana's vision in the river. After counter-jungling the enemy Gromp, Kikis knows that Morgana will be returning to lane soon. He goes for the Sonic Wave to close the distance and uses the R to deliver up a kill to Vizicsacsi. He pops his ultimate, which makes him immune to the turret and increases his damage against Morgana, however he's stunned before he can finish the kill. These two are able to turret dive very effectively, using both the mobility of Lee Sin and the huge damage reduction and burst from Poppy. Watching the map, Vizicsacsi sees that his team is in need and decides to teleport in. He immediately goes for the nearest target and, seeing that Gragas is trying to escape, uses Heroic Charge to cancel his dash over the wall and help his team secure the kill. Vizicsacsi and team continue on, knowing that they still have to deal with the enemy team's carries. He spots the enemy ADC and, using the stun and taunt from Shen to lock him up, find the kill on Lucian. He then continues on to Morgana, and although he gets caught in the stun, he's able to do some crucial damage to allow Kikis to come in and secure the kill. Now that his team is ahead and top is taken care of, Vizicsacsi looks to skirmish in the jungle and cut off either Ahri or Morgana. He can't go in alone, but with an initiation from a Lee Sin kick into a Yasuo ultimate, he's going to be safe to go in and take out the enemy support. Poppy is an incredibly mana-hungry champion and should take blue whenever she can get it, to keep the mana bar to use the combo time and time again. Although Vizicsacsi is on very low mana, he sticks around, thinking the regen from the blue buff may just be enough. He goes on to Hylissang, and although he falls to very low health, using his ult on Alistar means that Morgana and Gragas can't damage him for the duration. He's able to dodge in and out of the fight, and go back with an EQ combo onto Hylissang to take him out. Although Yasuo falls, the damage reduction from Poppy's passive and ultimate keeps Vizicsacsi alive and makes this a 1-for-1 exchange. As daring as Poppy mains can be, they can also get a little bit too cocky. Here he sees Gragas on low health in the ward and goes for the flash EQ assassination over the wall. However, the quick Q and body slam from Gragas means that Vizicsacsi falls to his own arrogance. After securing blue buff, Vizicsacsi looks towards the mid lane as he can see the beginnings of a skirmish breaking out. He has the opportunity to use his heroic charge onto a minion to close the distance onto Hylissang, but backs out after he realizes that this isn't the engage he's looking for. He needs to wait for something like a Lee Sin Yasuo combo or an excellent Shen flash taunt to go in, since unless Poppy can find a single champion and assassinate them, she's very reliant on someone else to initiate. The threat of a dive here from the red team is huge, and it forces the blue team back into a group. However, neither Lee Sin nor Shen can find the initiations they're looking for. Vizicsacsi being bursted down, ult Alistar and tries to take out Morgana, but a flash heal allows her to escape. Now it's red team on the retreat, and although they haven't lost anyone yet, an excellent ultimate from Gragas is able to secure the AD carry and forces Vizicsacsi and Yasuo on the retreat. Now that Vizicsacsi has his Trinity Force, taking down turrets is going to be much simpler for him. With the damage from his W and the auto attack reset and Sheen proc, he's going to be able to dismantle this turret while he leaves Yasuo to deal with Ahri. Vizicsacsi spots an opportunity to heroic charge over the wall onto Hylissang and get into the middle of the fight. He's able to consistently auto-attack and use his Q, while using the speed from his W and Trinity Force to evade the Morgana ultimate and get right back into the middle of the fight. Here he goes onto Gragas and uses his ults to get the bonus damage, but finds a kill onto Hylissang instead. He negates all damage from Ahri and Lucian during this time, which allows him to run around so freely in the middle of these skirmishes. Vizicsacsi can trust his team not to engage in any major team fights while he's away, leaving him to farm the top lane and push it out. Split pushing as Poppy is one of the major strategies you can use in the mid game, knowing that you can teleport in if you're ever needed in a team fight. Rounding the corner, Vizicsacsi runs into Hylissang and engages immediately. He continues to attack whoever's closest to him, refusing to jump over the wall into a potential group of enemy team members. He sees Ahri and uses his E to cancel her Spirit Rush and burst her down. He then ults Hylissang, and although there is an Ignite ticking down on him, he's immune to Lucian and Morgana's damage for now. He continues in a little bit too far and does fall to their combined damage, but not before taking out a huge amount of the enemy team's health and enabling quite a few kills for his own team. Walking into the end of a winning team fight, Vizicsacsi goes on whoever is closest and tries to take him out. However, after tanking up a bit of the inhibitor turret, Vizicsacsi backs off, lets his team dive, and turns his attentions towards the inhibitor turret. With a late game Poppy and Tristana and a team this far ahead, there's not much that can keep this red side from winning the game. Now pushing in the bottom lane, Vizicsacsi continues to keep an eye out for any potential team fights that break out. He sees his opportunity and decides to go in with his teleport, immediately securing a kill on the enemy Morgana. He can continue to chase on with his very high attack speed, especially when he pops his Yumu's Ghost Blade. He tries to ult on the Gragas for the additional damage, but he's not able to take out the kill. However, his team is incredibly far ahead and is able to go in for the dive anyway, with Yasuo and Tristana closing in from the back. Vizicsacsi is looking for an opportunity to catch out an enemy champion, and he finds it on Ahri, using Heroic Charge to stun her up against her own Nexus, and then continue to escape. Right now is the perfect time for Poppy to dive in and out of these fights, since her passive can really help her survive in these unpleasant situations. However, with 4 members of the enemy team, it may be just a little bit too much for any Poppy to survive through. Tristana offers her life to allow Poppy to escape, and it looks like Vizicsacsi may have to come back to finish the job another day. The Poppy signal shines over Gotham as Vizicsacsi comes around the back of this teamfight to try and cut off the enemy carry's escapes. He once again uses his ult on Alistar so that he can attempt to dive in and avoid any damage from these carries. Although he fails the assassination attempt on Ahri, he comes back around to help secure Lucian and Alistar for his team. With 4 members of the blue team down, Vizicsacsi leads the heroic charge into the enemy base to dismantle the Nexus and end the game. This has been Unicorn of Love's top laner Vizicsacsi playing Poppy, and I've been Disciple commentating on how exactly the pros play. If you guys would like to see how I play Poppy, check out the videos and the annotation in the outro. I've been Disciple, you've been watching, and have a great day.